Good evening, hockey fans. You are back in the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio. A full show in store for you tonight. The NHL is making its final push for the playoffs. We've got several teams that have clinched, a few more that have gotten knocked out. What else might be in store for us tonight? 9 games in action across the league. Will anybody else punch their ticket tonight? Or will people still be hanging on pins and needles? We had some records set this past week. Auston Matthews and Jonathan Quick making the NHL record books with performances this past week. We will discuss those, break those down, celebrate those 2 American-born players making their imprint on the game. And then, down in the collegiate ranks, the Final Four is set. And it's not just the 1 seeds. We did not go chalk in the men's Final Four. But we've got a lot of tradition and a lot of history making it into this stage of the tournament. We'll break it down and preview that ahead of next week's championships. Buckle on up, get ready to roll. This is the Neutral Zone. And good evening and welcome on into the Neutral Zone, hockey fans. I am Adam Kernick. Zach Puplis is with us here as well. Lots to be getting through in the show tonight. Going to be talking NHL and we'll be talking NCAA tonight. Lots to get through, lots to get going, so we'll jump right in here. Of course, before we get too far into the show, we do want to acknowledge our sponsors, as we do every single week here at the station, starting, of course, with Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, the single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. You can check them out on planetjerky.net to place your order. They offer free shipping on all orders of $50 and above. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. You can also find them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. And then Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations, and you're looking for that extra special touch. Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or friend, and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts is for you. Find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps, or on Facebook, search Seal the Deal Wax Seals. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. And for the last 9.5 years, IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with our shows. Also, check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio community forum, and stop by the shop and check out the merchandise. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And you heard how to follow along with the station there. You can also follow along. This show is available for you on Twitter. You can find us at IESR Neutral Zone. Or you can follow along with me personally. I am at Adam whoa, excuse me there, at Adam_Kernick, or you can also follow along with Zach at the Pupless. And with that, Zach, take it away. How are you doing tonight, good sir?
Well, I'm doing good, Adam. How are you?
Well, apparently I'm having to sneeze off microphone, but other than that, I think I'm okay.
Well, that's good. I heard your little one lost a tooth.
Yes, that was the exciting. I get home tonight, and my daughter comes racing up to me to give me a hug, and then my in-laws are visiting from Minnesota right now, so she's got grandma and grandpa home with her to spoil her, and they wind up they have a little hush talk, as 5-year-old and grandmother do. And it's, remember that surprise you were going to tell Daddy? Well, go show him. And she comes out with the tooth in a little bag and a big hole in the middle of her mouth. So it was a proud papa moment. I loved it.
Oh, good. What is the going rate for the tooth fairy these days?
The tooth, well, like everything else, inflation hits. We're figuring out what that rate is, but the tooth fairy's gotten to be a bit more generous with everything else. So,
right.
No, it's exciting for her because this technically isn't the first one she's lost. She had to have one extracted. So
no.
she had to have one extracted. So she's got a spacer in her mouth. So so she had the tooth fairy already visit one time, but this is the first time that she's lost one the normal way. So it's very exciting for her, and it gave me a huge grin and a proud papa moment. So it was a lot of fun.
I mean, and hockey players lose their teeth all the time. So there, we tied it into the show.
Oh yeah, this is a bottom tooth that she lost. Usually hockey players, it's the top ones, but it's right there, dead center, front and center, and right in the middle there. You cannot miss it when she smiles. So she's getting her little hockey player on there.
Very good.
All right, before we dive too much in, Taryn is asking in the chat room. Good evening, by the way, to both Taryn and Drewski hopping into the chat room with us. Good evening, gentlemen. Taryn wants to know, should we be worried about the LA Kings? Are they going to make the playoffs, or is there a chance that they're going to be missing out? So, as we sit here tonight, they're a game in hand. And they're 3 points in front of the Blues for the second and final wild card spot out west. They have 87 points. The Blues only have 84. And the Blues have also played one more game. And if the Wild, the Kraken, and the Flames are still technically alive, but I'm not worried about a lot of those teams in general right now. Looking at it from the division standpoint, too, that Pacific division is just, my gosh, is that division tight. You've got Vancouver's already at 100 points. Edmonton's at 95. Vegas is at 90 with still 8 games to go. So 100 points is not out of the realm of possibility for Vegas. I don't know that LA's necessarily going to jump any of those teams to secure a spot that way, but at this point, I would say don't exhale, but it wouldn't take much for me to feel very confident that LA will secure a spot. Where are you on them?
About with you. I think that sounds about right, or it's very similar to the positioning of my Red Wings. Other than we're on the outside looking in right now, but we are tied with Washington for that last wild card spot.
Yeah, and let's take a peek here as well at the Kings, the way they wrap up their schedule. The Kings are off tonight. They took a loss to the Jets last night. Not a good helper for them, but you're talking the schedule for them isn't horrible. They play the Ducks twice. They've got the Sharks. They've got the Wild. They've got the Blackhawks. Yet on their schedule, in fact, that's the season finale is against the regular season finale is against the Blackhawks. So their schedule is conducive to them making the playoffs. They shouldn't be. Yeah, they've got a game against the Canucks yet on the schedule, but that's the only one I see where it's somebody ahead of them in the standing. It's otherwise everybody's behind them, so they are easily in a position to take care of their own business.
Yeah, you look at that schedule down the stretch, and I would say they at least got 4 wins on there. San Jose, both Anaheim games, the Chicago game, maybe. So that's probably 4 wins, and then Seattle and Minnesota, and maybe Calgary would be toss-ups, and then Vancouver's probably loss. So 4 and 1, and then with 3 maybes.
Yeah, I mean it's very 8 points. I would say of these final games, 8 points would be the minimum you're looking at from them. But it's very possible they could get double-digit points here yet to close out the season. I would say that they're not locks, but I'd be surprised if they were to fall apart. I'll put it that way, Taryn.
Yeah, so I'd go along with that too.
So with that, then, Zach, get us up to date on everything that's going on tonight. We've got 9 games going on across the league tonight. Who are we liking? What's happening tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh! Wow. Sabres are up now 6-2.
I knew that was where you were going first.
Well, it was 3-2 just like a couple minutes ago, and now all of a sudden it's boom, 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 6-2.
Yeah. To be fair, yeah, when we started the show, it was 3-2, and then the Sabres poured it on.
In just the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that's wild.
More like the last 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. 6-2 Sabres over the Caps. Just like 5-6 minutes into the third. Panthers and Canadians. Canadians lead that one 4-2. Wow, that's surprising. And that's just a couple minutes into the third. Penguins and Devils are tied 3-3 about halfway into the third. Your Blackhawks lead the Islanders 1-0 at the end of 2. Bruins and Preds are tied 0-0. That's right about in the middle of the second period. Senators and Wild lead that one 2-0 in the second as well, about halfway through that second period. Ducks and Flames just started with 5 minutes gone in the first period. And still to come tonight are Canucks and Golden Knights at 10 p.m.
And Taryn, just to give you a little bit there, Taryn, you are desperately hoping that the Bruins beat the Predators. That's the one you want there, the Bruins to knock off the Predators, help keep them in range. Because that's the other thing for the Kings is the top wild card spot is not out of the realm of possibility either for the Kings. And if they can do that, that'll give them a little bit of cushion too, getting the top wild card instead of the second wild card to lock them in. So, Taryn, you'll definitely be wanting the Bruins to hold off the Predators there tonight.
Oh yeah, yep, I'm seeing that too. As for the overall playoff picture, in the East, we got in the Atlantic, Boston and Florida have clinched. Boston with 101 points, Florida with 99. Toronto is in third with 95. Then in the Metro, you've got the Rangers and the I almost said Panthers, the Hurricanes,
yeah,
that have clinched with 104 and 101 points, and Philly's sitting there in third with 83, with Tampa Bay and Washington in position for the wild cards with 89 and 82 points respectively. Washington is also tied with my Red Wings at 82 points for that second wild card. In the West, Dallas and Colorado have clinched with 103 and 100 points. Winnipeg with 96. And then in the Pacific, Vancouver has clinched with 100 points, with Edmonton not far behind with 95, and Vegas with 90. And as we talked, Nashville and LA in the wild card spots, 90 and 87 points respectively.
Drewski is just as a Stars guy, he is just ready for the postseason to start. They've locked up their spot. They are in. Let's just start the playoffs now, huh?
It's chomping at the bit, huh?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking at this. There are 16, and we've got a couple of weeks realistically left in the regular season. There are 6 teams already that have 100 points or more in the standings, plus several that are in the mid to upper 90s and could still get there. That is a lot.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's the 100-point club, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a not exclusive club this year. You've got Boston, the Rangers, the Hurricanes, Dallas, Colorado, Vancouver already in it. Florida, it's just a matter of time. The Panthers are at 99. Toronto's at 95. Winnipeg's at 96. Edmonton's at 95. We could wind up with double-digit teams with 100 points this year.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And then meanwhile, then you have 3 teams that haven't even broken 50 yet. What? 2 teams that haven't even broken 50 yet, and another that hasn't broken 60.
Wow.
And San Jose and Chicago have yet to break 50, and Anaheim is only at 52.
Talk about a bell curve.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, with San Jose and Chicago, it's kind of and Anaheim too. It's all by design, but it's still, wow, that is a steep. And we're 2 weeks out, and there's still only technically one Eastern Conference team that has been eliminated. I mean, we were talking about it last week. Montreal is still alive somehow.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they're, if they hold on tonight, yeah, they'll still be holding on.
They'll still, somehow still be alive in this. That is just crazy. They're up 5-2 now on Florida.
Oh my gosh. Didn't see that one coming tonight.
No, did not see that one coming tonight. The Canadians are refusing to die. Refusing. Never mind that it's April. Never mind that the snow has melted.
Right.
Though we are getting some more of that this week, so we are getting some more of that overnight tonight.
Oh no!
Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Boo, I saw
snow.
I saw on Facebook the other day. If it gets cold one more time, that's it. I'm putting my Christmas tree back up.
Don't tell my wife that. We only just got the Christmas stuff down. No, I had somebody ask at work the other day. So if April showers bring May flowers, what does April snow bring?
Yeah, right.
I answered anger.
Yeah, exactly. Yikes. I'm with. I'm excited for the playoffs too. Just a couple more weeks and it'll be Stanley Cup playoffs time. And every single night having different games on. Yes, please.
That's when it gets down to business. Absolutely. Well, there were some records getting set this past week, Zach. Get us caught up on Auston Matthews and Jonathan Quick just continuing to do what they do.
Yeah, for sure. Jonathan Quick breaks wins record for U.S.-born goaltenders. ESPN News Services from March 30th. Jonathan Quick broke the victory record for U.S.-born goalies Saturday night as the New York Rangers defeated the Arizona Coyotes 8-5 at Mullet Arena. Jonathan Quick, a 3-time Stanley Cup champion who won his first 2 titles with the LA Kings, stopped 27 shots in moving past Ryan Miller with his 392nd victory. Quote, you do everything you can to not think about it, but it's there. It's a good feeling to get it done and over with, Quick said after the win. Focus on what's really important and trying to win the division here and win the conference, end quote. The feat was not lost on his coach. What an amazing career for him, Rangers coach Peter Laviolette said about Quick, who broke into the league in 07-08. Alex Lafreniere had 3 goals and 2 assists in the victory as well. And the NHL leading New York Rangers reached 50 wins before the calendar turns to April. Artemi Panarin had an empty netter with 2:25 left, his 44th of the season. The bread man. And had 3 assists to give him 63. Lafreniere got the hat trick with the empty netter with 14 seconds left. He has 25 goals, a career high for his 2020 for the 2020 first overall pick. Let's see here. Fun team to be a part of, Quick said. These guys work hard every day. They push each other. We've been finding different ways to win throughout the year. We have that confidence and the ability. They tied it up, and the game could go either way, and we find a way to win. So there you go. Grain of salt, yes. the sad coyote howls. On the flip side, we got the Maple Leafs' Auston Matthews is now a 2-time 60-goal scorer. As of March 30th, ESPN News Services. Toronto Maple Leafs fans travel so well. Auston Matthews became accustomed to hearing the chants, "We want 60," whether at home or on the road over the past week. In Buffalo on Saturday, playing in the same building the Maple Leafs drafted him with the number 1 pick back in 2016, and an arena brimming with fans wearing blue and white, Matthews delivered, sweeping a loose puck into the open left side of the Sabres net with 5:37 left in regulation to cap Toronto's 3-0 victory. Matthews sparked an electric celebration by becoming the NHL's first 62-time goal scorer in 30 years. Bending to one knee and punching the air, Matthews was mobbed by his teammates at the boards with chants of MVP raining down from the thousands of Maple Leaf fans who made the 90-minute cross-border trek from Toronto.
He is a scoring machine, isn't he?
Exactly.
Insane. He is. He's one of those guys that I know Toronto fans can be a bit insufferable, and they can when things don't go their way in the postseason. Oh my gosh! But I would love to see Auston Matthews in a Stanley Cup final, one way or another.
Right.
He's just, oh my gosh, is he fun to watch? The right. Things he does on the ice. If that means that we have to get Toronto in there, then so be it. We'll get Toronto in there if that's what it takes. But
right. More from Matthews. He says, it means a lot, obviously. It's always a fun atmosphere here with all the blue and the white in the stands. Definitely pretty cool. He matched the franchise record he set when he led the NHL in goals 2 seasons ago. The 26-year-old, he's still only 26. Oh my gosh. He joins a group of 8 NHL players to have a multiple 60-goal seasons, and the first since Pavel Bure had back-to-back 60-goal campaigns with the Canucks back in 92-93 and 93-94. Gretzky and Mike Bossy lead the list with 5 60-goal seasons.
Jeez.
Yeah.
5. Well, I mean, barring injury, I think Matthews is going to. Okay. Be careful what you say here, Adam. You can't predict that he's going to just automatically jump from 3 to 5, but would you be shocked if he did it at this point? I mean, he's 26. He's already done it 3 times now.
I mean, what would you say? Do you think he's got another 10 years left in him to play?
Again, barring injury, I see no reason why he couldn't play another 10 seasons. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And he would just have to get what? 4 more of them? Well, 3 more to tie, 4 more to
Yeah.
have the record himself.
Again, you can't predict such things because it's so, it's 60 is a lot of goals to get in a season. That's basically you're scoring a goal every night. You can only have basically 20 of them where you don't score a goal.
Yeah.
But man, when he only does 40 in a season, you're like, what the heck, Auston? What went wrong here? I suppose. Okay, all right. Here's what could screw it up. When is the collective bargaining agreement set to expire? Because you know that there's going to be some kind of shenanigans, and we'll probably lose some games whenever that happens. So that I think there's more likelihood that happens, where something totally beyond his control occurs that'll throw it off more than Auston Matthews slows down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of where I'm at with him at this point.
Yeah, having a lockout.
Yeah, having a lockout or having a stoppage of play or something along those lines, or it's just, God darn it, why can't this game just figure itself out?
Right. Well, it goes on to say Matthews from Scottsdale, Arizona, was the first U.S.-born player to score 60, and he's now done it twice. Quote from him, I don't know. It's hard to think about stuff like that. Honestly, it's special, obviously, Matthews said when asked to put his feet into historical context. I've been fortunate to play with some really great players and a supportive team behind us. I just try to go out every day and compete. He became just the 6th player to reach 60 goals in the 2000s. Of those players, he trails only Edmonton captain Connor McDavid, who scored 64 last season, and Washington captain Alex Ovechkin, who had 65 in 07-08.
And was on a bit of a heater the last 2 weeks, too, getting himself caught back up.
Nice. Matthews has been on a tear since December. After being limited to 13 goals in his first 21 games, he has combined for 47 in his past 51. Whew, a stretch in which he's not gone more than 2 games without scoring.
It's just it's almost like what you have to do is just focus on stopping everybody else. Just admit to yourself, all right, Austin's gonna get one. That's fine. Just make sure that that's the only one they get. Stop everybody else from scoring.
It's the Zach Edey approach. I get it.
Exactly.
Quote, he's had an incredible season, scored in different ways, Coach Sheldon Keefe said. He just does so much for our team. It's more than just the goals. But for him to get that is great. And if you're not going to get it at home, this is probably second best. That was great. And I love the way that the fans acknowledged him too.
Yeah, because let's face it, Buffalo's not that far from Toronto.
Yeah.
You gotta go through customs. You gotta technically, cross the border and all that good stuff. But
yeah,
that is not a long trip by any means.
Yeah, but if you're looking in terms of closest U.S. cities to Toronto, you got Detroit and you got Buffalo.
Those would have been the places to do it.
Yeah. Matthews and the Leafs didn't have to look far to feel at home. Right behind the Sabres bench were 8 fans wearing white shirts spelling out his name, Matthews. In celebrating Matthews' goal, they raised 2 gold air balloons of a 6 and an 0.
There you go. Have some fun with it.
Yeah, I was hoping they were going to be shirtless, topless, wearing they're just having the spray paint on them, but no, they got white shirts.
Apparently, they saved that just for the outdoor games.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Maple Leafs captain Jonathan Tavares on the record says, I don't think he really just sets limits on himself. I think he just wants to continue to get better and work on his game and go out there each and every night and be consistent and impact it. From John Tavares, the Maple Leafs captain. who opened the scoring while playing in his 1,100th career game.
Whew, that's a lot of games.
Yeah. Certainly he wants to continue to be one of the best in the world and drive our team, and obviously make an impact with the way he can play the game, Tavares added. Obviously, he's able to score a lot of goals, but his play in all three zones away from the puck, with the puck, is just exceptional. He's just the total package. Matthews shifted his focus on the win, which inched the Maple Leafs within 3 points of clinching a playoff spot, and the importance of the final 2+ weeks of the season. Lastly, Matthews says, obviously you want to be headed into April trying to feel confident and play your best hockey. An important week for us is coming up here. It'll be nice to enjoy this one and come get the focus on what's yet to come.
So some good stuff there from a couple of U.S. born players setting some records. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll transition going from some guys that are already setting records in the NHL to some players that hope to someday be playing in the NHL. We have the Frozen Four is set in the NCAA men's tournament. We will break that down next. You are listening to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo Sports with a Twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
IE Sports Radio fans, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint, the host of the premier professional wrestling podcast online today, the IE Elite Wrestling Show. If If you're a fan and have a passion for the world of professional wrestling, this is the show for you. I take you inside the ropes with all the athleticism, high-flying, and hard-hitting action, and then we take it backstage with all the backstage drama and backstabbing that goes on in the world of professional wrestling today. If something's going on in the world of professional wrestling, rest assured, the SoCal Saint knows what's going on, and he's going to let you know too. If you're a fan, check us out every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on IE Sports Radio. The IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling, on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports. Check us out.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on in to the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Zach and Adam talking hockey tonight. We talked about the pros. Now let's get into the college game a bit. We have a Frozen Four set, not this weekend, but next weekend. It'll be taking place on, I think it's Friday and Sunday, maybe Saturday, Monday. I forget.
The 11th to the 13th.
Yeah, there you go. So let's do a little recap. We had some picks last week. One of mine was clearly off, but we only lost 5-2.
There have been worse ones.
And I'm not salty about it at all.
No, you're so unsalty. You're not even going to bother to mention the school names.
But all right, so we had all chalk except for Michigan, Boston College, the overall number 1 seed, Boston U, also a number 1 seed, and Denver, a number 1 seed, made it to the Frozen Four along with Michigan. They were a 2 seed, I think, 3 seed maybe.
Yeah, 2 seed.
Yeah. Wolverines made their third straight Final Four, or Frozen Four, with a 5-2 win over Big Ten rivals Michigan State Sunday in Maryland Heights, Missouri. Let's see. BC, the number 1 overall seed, fought off defending national champion Quinnipiac 5-4 in overtime to win the Providence, Rhode Island regional earlier in the day. On Saturday, Boston University, top seed in the Sioux Falls, South Dakota regional, and Denver, number 1 in the Springfield, Massachusetts regional, punched their tickets with wins over Minnesota and Cornell, respectively. The final 4 teams have won a combined 28 national titles. Wow. With Denver and Michigan tied for the most of all time with 9 each. Hockey East rivals BC and BU winning 5 apiece. Denver's last championship came in 22. BC's last title came in 12. BU's last title came in 09, and Michigan's last title was in 98. So, yeah, lots of, like they said, mostly chalk, and even the one that wasn't chalk still has quite the pedigree.
Yeah, a lot of history, we're used to seeing these schools, we're used to seeing these colors in the Frozen Four. Michigan is its 28th appearance in the Frozen. You've got the top 3 schools as far as appearances in the Frozen Four, all in this tournament. Michigan, Boston College, Boston U.
Wow, yeah. Definitely blue blood and then some.
Yeah. Oh, Patty Back's jumping in the chat real quick. All right, Zach, this will help you get over your Michigan State Sparty blues a little bit. The Sabres indeed finished annihilating the Capitals 6-2. So that helps your Red Wings.
Yay.
So you've got that going for you a little bit at least.
Oh, man, I'm just so salty. They already played 5 times. We had 4 wins to their 1 win this year, and but no, the committee says you guys got to play them. We got to get over the hump one more time, just because we want to have good ratings.
Patty, it's not your fault. You tried so hard to lift Zach's spirits, and Zach he doesn't want to go there tonight. Nothing's going to help him. Nothing's going to help. We were talking all during the break, too, about that game and that region. He's not salty at all about this.
Right, yeah. Well, and they won the national championship this year, and it's just like, come on, guys. You let somebody else have a go for a while.
Apparently not. No, Michigan. Well, though they're going up. They've got the toughest draw. They've got the number 1 overall seed. They've got Boston College in.
Oh, and I hope
the first round of the semifinal here. So.
I hope they get destroyed. Just saying.
I know that you do, though. I tell you what, though, for Michigan, it doesn't matter what level of hockey it is you're in. If your goalie gets hot, that's the difference for you a lot of times. And Jake Barshewski has been hot for Michigan in this tournament so far. So that can do it for you a lot of times when you're in a tournament setting, when your goalie can, because we see it all the time in the NHL. All of a sudden, a goalie will get hot in the playoffs. Look at Aiden Hill last year for the Golden Knights. He's the 4th goalie. He gets hot into the playoffs, and Vegas is untouchable for the tournament. That's what happens here with Michigan, and then it gets to the 3rd period and they go absolutely bonkers as far as the scoring is concerned.
Yeah, the dam finally broke. Sorry.
Right, exactly. They just start blasting it in the 3rd period of these games. But what was it? They outscored their opponents 7-2 combined in the 3rd period in their 2 regional games.
Well, and it was so funny because they were they both, it was like mirror images of each other, like the Michigan State Western game and then the Michigan North Dakota game, because both Michigan teams were down for a lot of the game and then came back to win it.
Yep.
Definitely had the rally caps on.
Absolutely. Yeah, the third periods were wild going through there. The Boston schools, I was a little surprised that Boston College, I mean, Boston College is young. You know, they're one of the young teams. They're one of the youngest teams in the field, if not the youngest team in the field. No, Boston College is in fact the youngest team in the field. But I was still shocked that, you know, they needed overtime against Quinnipiac. I didn't expect it. I thought that Boston College and Boston U were going to have easier paths. And I mean, Boston U won 6-3 in both their games, but they were down 2-0 against Minnesota at one point. I was surprised. I was a little surprised seeing that from the Boston schools.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they've been dominant all year. Look at Boston College. I mean, they have like 31 wins, something ridiculous.
Yeah. But what is it? Boston College is 33-5-1 on the season.
Yeah. Well, even Denver's got 30 wins this year.
Yep. Denver had probably the toughest path for getting in, needing that double overtime game against UMass in the opener.
Oh yeah, true.
You know, that's you start off with a double overtime game. You got to have some strong sea legs then for that second. You know, it's one thing if it's the regional final, because then you've got a week and a half, 2 weeks off before you play again. But to have that and then know that you've got to turn around and effectively a day and a half later turn around and play again, that's tough. That's tough. Sure. So Denver, even though that was a 1 seed and technically that's a region going chalk, that was a little surprising to see Denver get in after what happened in that opener.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, you got to either have lots of time to recover or you got to have a really strong bench.
Yeah. You know, I'm making sure that I'm making sure that I've got this right here. That's the region as a whole. Yeah, the regional that Denver was in, day one in Springfield, there were 7 hours of hockey.
Ooh.
Denver UMass, they dropped the puck at 2 p.m. Cornell, Maine finished at 9:30.
Oh my gosh.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
That is a long day.
Ooh, well, I mean, if you like hockey, there you go.
Oh yeah, some terrific hockey. But yeah, that is a long day of having to stick around and be there.
Yeah. Well, just the way that the state had won, the Big Ten regular season title, and then the way they won the Big Ten championship, the tournament championship in overtime, you just felt like it was a charmed year, and it just didn't end that way.
Nope. Not this go around.
Nope.
Not this go around for Sparty. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next time. But it's certainly going to be an interesting. I know we've got we'll be able to dive a little bit more into this next week and have a little bit more to say about it next week. But right now, at a glance, I know better than to ask what you think is going to happen in Boston College versus Michigan. I know better than to ask that one. But how about Boston U versus Denver?
Ooh, man. I think it's going to be pretty equally matched on both sides. But I'm going to go with Boston U just because the all Boston final would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm leaning at right now too. Michigan is hot. Michigan is certainly not somebody to overlook, even though they're the only low seed, if you can call a 2 seed a low seed, left in the tournament. I would not overlook them, but I definitely think we're heading for an all Boston final there as well.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of like basketball this year. I feel like UConn and Purdue were heads and shoulders above everybody else, and same thing with the two Boston schools in hockey.
Yep.
This season.
Speaking of finals, as Patty pointed out, we do have some finals over in the NHL. We'll transition back over to the pro game here for the last 7 minutes or so that we're here. The Sabres blasted the Capitals. Remember that game was 3-2 when we started the show, and then 5 minutes later it was, not.
Yeah.
The Sabres scored 3 goals in 2.5 minutes in the third period to blow that one open. 6-2 the final. Buffalo over the Washington Capitals, and Patty points out the Sabres are still alive. They're still in it somehow. They have a 0.5% chance of making the playoffs. Let's look at the wild card for them right now. They are currently only 5 points back of Washington, though Washington has 2 games in hand of the Sabres. But they would also have to jump Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and the Red Wings in order to get in there. So, a little bit of work to be done there for Buffalo. And meanwhile, the Islanders are winning because my Blackhawks are my Blackhawks. Not final yet, but we're getting close. The Canadiens, they held off the Panthers 5-3, so the Canadiens are still alive out there in the East as well. The Panthers, they'll have to get over 100 points another night. And the Penguins doubled up the Devils 6-3 in that one to keep Pittsburgh's playoff potential alive here, as well as the Penguins are currently sitting just 3 points out right now of a playoff spot, but still Washington with that all-important game in hand. So some other scores real quick. The Islanders are 90 seconds away from beating. God bless it. What the hell are my Blackhawks? We are 90 seconds away from this game going final, and the Blackhawks don't even have 20 shots on net yet.
Oh, no.
God, they infuriate me sometimes. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, they are about to start the third period. The Wild up 2-1 on the Senators. The Wild with a minute and a half left on a power play to finish up there. End of 2 in Nashville. Bruins and Predators still tied at 0. And then at the end of 1 in Calgary, it is the Ducks 1 and the Flames 0.
Ooh, so probably the most surprising one on my end would be the Bruins and Preds still 0-0.
Yeah, still slotted up at 0. Both the Bruins and the Predators have almost as many shots through 2 periods as the Blackhawks do through 3. God,
no.
Just shoot the puck. Anyway, now it's my turn to go on tilt, apparently.
Go on a rant.
Connor Bedard just got named Rookie of the Month for the 3rd time this season.
Good.
Yeah, which ties him with Connor McDavid did that most recently. So, good things going on there. But it's like if Connor's not shooting for the Blackhawks just aren't bothering to shoot. They got 8 shots in the first period. Since then, they've had 11. That's just golly. But all right, well, it's what they do. It's what they do. So
they'll get better. They'll get there.
They'll get there eventually. They'll get another high draft pick this year, and we'll see if they can can start something there. Is that game not? I was trying to stall to see if it'll go final. There are 15 seconds left in that one. Looks like it's not quite going to wrap up before we get out of here, because we do have to make some room. We do have Sin City Sports coming up right after us. Cale Henderson getting us caught up on all things Vegas, as Vegas has a big one tonight against the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver, of course, has already clinched a playoff spot, but Vegas with a big opportunity for 2 points here to help solidify their spot into the playoffs and maybe catch up to Edmonton. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that'd be a good game tonight.
Let's real quick as we're getting out of here real fast, as I try to get that game pulled up, and I just keep overshooting it here. So we're going to have in net tonight is going to be Thompson for Vegas and Demko for Vancouver. Who do you like in that game? It's being played in Vegas, by the way.
I think can you hear me?
Now I can. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Well, with Cale coming up next to me, I got to go Vegas, right?
All right, there you go. You gotta stick with the Homer crowd. I like it. I like it a lot.
Got to play to your audience.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it. The horn is going to sound on us here tonight. Big shout out and thank you again to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. With jerky that's on a whole other planet. Find them at planetjerky.net or on Instagram at Planet Jerky. And, of course, Seal the Deal Wax Seals with Cecilia B. Find them on Instagram at @SealTheDeal_wax stamps. On Facebook, just search Seal the Deal. Thank you to Larry B., the czar and overlord of IE Sports Radio, for all the hard work that he does behind the scenes, keeping things busy and active going on here for us. Thank you to everybody that jumped into the chat room and joined us tonight. Patty Bax, Drewski, Taryn Rodriguez. Thank you, everybody. And finally, thank you guys for coming and listening here tonight, whether it was live tonight on Spreaker or you're listening later on in the week, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, any place where you find us. Thank you. Like the show, spread it around, send the link around to your friends, people that know hockey, like hockey, people that are curious about hockey. We want to help grow the sport as much as enjoy the sport. We want everybody to become hockey fans. So thank you guys for listening and being here. That's really where we appreciate that you guys make us part of your sports week each and every week. Next week, we will be one more week closer to the NHL playoffs. We'll see what the picture looks like, who's yet dancing, who's yet alive, who's looking pretty rough. Will be 13 games going on next Tuesday night, so we'll have a ton to keep an eye on between now and then. And we'll have some more in-depth of the Frozen Four, as those games will be a week from Thursday, and then the championship a week from Saturday. He is Zach, I am Adam. Together, we are the Neutral Zone. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay out of that penalty box, light the lamp, protect your 5-hole, all those important things. We will see you next time.